Welcome, you guys. I am so excited for tonight's episode of Beyond the Title. Each week, we interview and talk to the leaders who are making the thing happen here at Pharmacy and on our team. And I am just really, really, really excited. You guys know that ChatGPT helps me with these questions, but I am not letting ChatGPT intro this woman. I am taking this intro because I have admired, worked alongside, been motivated, been inspired by this woman for, oh my gosh, years. Years. She was with me in a previous company, and I always knew then that she was like, you find sometimes you come across somebody who you know can just impact so many lives and they just have something special in them, and that's what Carly has. You guys, I learn so much from her every single day. She is such an inspiration, and I am so excited you guys get to hear from her. A lot of you guys already know who she is, but I know we have a lot of people on the team who are brand new, who this will be the first time that you get to hear from Carly. So I am really excited. Let me just spotlight Carly really quick and grab my questions. Hey, Carly, let's start. Just tell
Right.
us a little bit about you and kind of, what your life looked like before coming to pharmacy.
Goodness. Well, hey guys. Thank you for having me, Amber. This is so exciting. A little bit about me is that I am a mom of three. That's probably my most important job. Not probably, absolutely my most important job. We are a physical business owning family as well. We own a marina down here in Florida, which is a total life 180. And I'm sure we'll probably touch on that in this conversation later. But before I joined pharmacy, I had already had 9 years in the industry, the same company as Amber. But at that point in the game for me, I had experienced a lot of really amazing milestones there. I learned a lot of really important tools and skills, and I made great connections, Amber being one of them. Um, but ultimately, I don't think peaked is a great word, but I don't have a better word for it. With that comp plan and where I was and the price point, I was out of alignment. And so before I came to pharmacy, I was experiencing a friction in my business. And I am a firm believer that when you experience that friction in your business, when you're constantly being faced with roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, often roadblocks that don't make sense or they seem like you can't catch your breath. I feel like that is a guide. It's reminding you that you have choice and you have to make a decision. And so before I came to pharmacy, that's what I was experiencing. And I had seen a lot of people come this way, a lot of people come over to pharmacy and my interest was piqued and I was paying attention. But as soon as I saw Amber make the change, I knew that she was making the change for a similar reason as was laying on my heart. I was seeing a lot of my hardest working friends quit on themselves. Um, and I didn't like that. It was never just about me. It was never just about me when I jumped into network marketing, especially when I really went all in on it. So yeah, so that's when I saw Amber go, I was like, okay, okay, that's it. I got to make the choice too.
And I'm going to go off a little bit. I'm going to stray from our questions just a minute because, we talked about change and we talked about making bold, scary moves. And I think you are the perfect person to talk about this. Could you just tell them a little bit about your career before moving to Florida? I think that just shows like just boldness.
Sure, sure. So I went to school to be a teacher and I spent almost 10 years in the classroom and I really loved it. I have a master's degree in educational technology. My brain works like a teacher. I thrive being put in that space to teach and I love to learn myself. So it was a natural fit for me and I liked the people that I was working side by side with, but I was experiencing extreme burnout to the point where I just felt like I wasn't my best self. And being a mom is weird. because it's okay sometimes when you're like, I'm okay with not being my best self for me. But as soon as I had little people watching me not being my best self, I wasn't cool with that because I feel like I'm their model. I'm their guide. And if when I'm often trying to figure out decisions and to question if I'm doing the right thing, I kind of put myself in a spectator's position and say, if I saw my kid doing this, what would I tell them? If I saw my kids struggling with burnout, if I saw my kid hating going to work every day, if I saw my kid constantly dealing with, toxic um, workspace, what would I tell them to do? And I would tell them to quit that job, quit that job, find something healthy where you can be your best self, where you can actually use that purpose. And that purpose for me wasn't ever a career, it was to use my gift. And so I knew in my heart of hearts that I could use my gift elsewhere. I didn't have to only be a teacher. Just like I've spoken on this on the stage for in Miami. Like your purpose is not to sell pharmacy. Your purpose is not to sell makeup. You have a gift that you were put on this planet to use, and this is your vehicle of which to do that. And so at that point in that season, I said I have to make a change. I have to use my gift so that I can actually make an impact with it. And I, at that point, decided to get my real estate license. And so I have that as well. Super fun. It was working out really well. And then my husband came to me. He had been in law enforcement for 12 years and he was experiencing burnout. And he said, I want to try something different. I want to do something different. And um, I'm a tumbleweed of wild ideas and ambition. And so I'm never going to be the one that talks you out of bathroom bangs or trying something different. Like it's just, I'm not going to be that person for you. So if you need someone to tell you no, don't come to me. I'm going to be like, you should. You should. Here's a YouTube video. This is it. You are going to look so good with those bathroom bangs and you should try something else out too. Let's do it. Think big. I am that delusional friend. So when he brought it up to me, my parents lived in Florida. And we knew that the folks that owned the marina where my parents kept their boat, they were looking towards retirement. And so we brought it up to them. It's totally crazy. Neither of us had ever worked in a marina, had no experience besides the fact that we just enjoyed going there on vacation. And we decided that we were going to try. And my husband looked at me and he said, we don't have that kind of money. And you don't talk to a delusional person and say that because I, again, said, rich people don't have a lot of money. They have assets. And we had a house in Minnesota. And I said, we're sitting in one. The real estate market was an anomaly. Let's sell our house. Let's use our equity. Let's put all of our pennies into this. And we'll move some money if we need to. And let's just go for it. And it was wild how when the idea came out of my mouth, mountains started to move and things fell into place. And it was really hard, very, very, very hard. And we had to stretch ourselves so thin and change our budget and change literally everything about our life changed. But it felt healthy and it felt right and it didn't feel dangerous. It felt, even though it was absolutely nuts, like certifiably crazy. When we told people what we were doing, that we just got these like baffled looks, like what? Like, but my parents live here, so they were kind of okay with it. And they knew that I'm a nut job. So they also just went with it for that reason too. But yeah, we decided to do it, and it took a lot longer than it needed to be, which also put pressure on my network marketing business because I was really banking on being able to grow that when we moved. And instead, the longer I waited to make a super necessary change, it shrunk. But as soon as I made the change, you want to know what happened? Things dramatically changed for my network marketing business too. Mountains moved, people that I needed to connect with, I connected with. Things came into alignment in such a beautifully important way, and absolutely God's timing, Michelle. Absolutely. Like some people call it delusion, and I use that word because it's so trendy right now, but truthfully, it is an undeniable faith that I just know like my God is doing amazing and incredible things in my life. And if I follow these nudges, I cannot go wrong. I can't go wrong. This is bigger than me. I'm not just being guided by wild ideas. Like the wild ideas were placed, in my mind because they were already on God's heart. And I have to just put my feet in motion and things will work out.
100%. It just inspires me how you just took that leap of faith. And Carly, I just love how she talked. I just love everything about her. I'm gonna do the PG version, but she said mess around, find out. But
Oh,
you know
yeah.
the real version, girls. You know the
Yeah.
real one. And
That's
that's
the,
how I love that. That's how I'm like, you know what? That's how I'm gonna live my life this year. And it
yeah.
has not, it hasn't done me wrong yet.
No, no.
All right, next question we got. So we've worked together a long time, and I know your leadership has grown tremendously, but you've always been a leader. You've always been a leader. I mean, you're a leader when you're a teacher in the classroom. You've just always been a born leader. But how do you feel like your leadership has changed from when you started to like where you are right now?
I think when I first started in network marketing, you it's not necessarily I don't think I ever had imposter syndrome. I think people talk about that a lot because I knew that I had skills that I could teach, so therefore I could lead, which all of us can. So you're not an imposter. You have skills, you can teach them. You are in fact a leader, okay? I think the biggest piece is dialing in the skills that you have and focusing on that. You don't have to be everything. In the beginning, I felt like I kind of had to be everything. I had to learn everything. I had to be everybody's everything. It's just not sustainable. And it's also zero fun when you are everybody's everything. So once I figured out that I didn't have to be everybody's everything, I could be I could dial into my skills, the things I was good at, and then I could call upon and attract people that were opposite of me. I started really looking to work and collaborate with people who were different than me so that we could all come to the table, we could all share what we know, and it became sustainable and it became fun again. And so I think as my leadership has developed, that's changed. The other thing that has really changed in my leadership is making sure that I'm modeling a business that other people want to do and want to do long term, that they want to grow in. I think before at the very beginning, and there is a season in your business where you have to hustle. Like I'm not discounting that. Okay. I know that if I were starting from scratch with no customers, with no followers, with no nothing, I would have to, I would have to hustle. But I think that there's also some serious power in modeling your leadership in a way that makes leadership look appealing to other people. If you are at burnout speed all the time, there's not many people that are like, I want to do that. Like I desire that. Like you want people to see that this life, that network marketing, it wasn't created. It's a little fuzzy right now, I think, because of influencer culture. Influencer culture has blurred the line. And I think we have to be very, very clear that influencing and network marketing are very, very different. Network marketing was never created with the idea that you were going to have access to hundreds of thousands of people. That was never the intention. And that's why, in order for you to get paid on your bonus, you only really have to sell $250 worth of product a month. Like we get a little crazy. We get a little crazy. And if we start leading to lead people only to be this influencer style, I think we're going to hit burnout speed. So my leadership has really changed dramatically in the last couple years because I've been really trying to stay true to network marketing because it has been a lifeboat for me, both for my confidence and for my family's budget in so many different, seasons of my life, that I think it's really important that we keep network marketing accessible and fun and not crazy.
1000%. And I know that's a reason that both of us came over here because we truly believe that an everyday average person without, 50,000 followers can make money here. And that was really important I know to both of us. Because that's what this is about. That's what network marketing is about is, that mom being able to cover the bill, even if it's just taking her family out to dinner once a month. Like that is a huge accomplishment. And
Mhm.
I know that fires both of us up. So I want to talk about your accomplishment, though. Huge accomplishment, Golden. You went to Turkey. I lived through your entire journey. Like I can't wait to go. It pumps me up so much. Um, I just want to hear. Tell us first. Tease us a little about why we need to get to Turkey, and then also, was there like a specific shift that you made that things just kind of clicked and you said, okay, I am gonna go for this. I deserve this. I'm gonna do it.
I think that I'll start with the shift and then I'll talk about the trip. So I think that the shift for me, when I switched, we'll start here. When I switched to pharmacy, in my brain, I think I was still expecting to be stuck. When I experienced the first couple of wins, um, and the speed of it, I really focused in on those milestones. Even the beginning when I was like, "Holy smokes, like I hit 15%." Like, what the heck? Like, I don't even know what that means. I remember thinking that, like, I have no idea what this even means. I'm just figuring this out, but 15% feels substantial. So that was cool, right? That was very cool. When I started to realize that I was sharing my journey and sharing my heart and sharing my truth and explaining why I made the change, why it was bigger than me. Okay. I was very, very open with my customers. Like, hey, I was priced out of products. I can't imagine how you felt. I'm sorry I waited so long. Like, let's get you products that make sense to you. I started talking to them as if we were at a coffee shop talking about, the experience and what we were both mutually experiencing with products that we love. We shouldn't have to make sacrifices to treat ourselves well. I started talking about that story more. And when I started being really honest and I started to really share those pieces, something started to change in my brain. And that idea that I still had to remain stuck was shattered. All of the sudden I was like, holy shit. Like I'm not stuck. I have found a solution. And when I realized that I found solutions and then I was like, and I hit 15%, still don't know what that means, but I'm gonna roll with it. Like I'm gonna shout from the rooftops. And I started talking about it like, it was the greatest thing ever, even though I had no idea what it meant. And people started to pay attention too. And I've never ever been on a hike or been on a vacation where the only thing worth looking at was that final destination. So I started really talking about each of these little bits and pieces, and I romanticized the shit out of my climb. And when you do that, people are like, okay, the work feels worth it. If you only celebrate the destination, they're like, "Mm." I mean, have you ever watched someone who only posts pictures at like the top of a mountain, right? I'm outdoorsy in the fact that I like to drink coffee and cocktails on patios. I like to float on boats. That's it, okay? When I see people taking pictures on the top of mountains, I'm like, "Thank you for sharing the photo. Now I never have to do that ever again." Like that doesn't sound like fun to me. But if you're taking pictures along the journey and they're showing like the beautiful views along the way, all of a sudden I'm like, "Okay, I might wear tennis shoes for that day. I might go. I don't know yet, but I might go. I've piqued my interest." And so I think that change in that mentality that like this can be fun. This can be so fun to grow. And if I take people along on the journey and show them the highlights and romanticize the work that I'm doing, because this work is not hard. By definition, the work we do is not hard. And uh, the shift changed the game. That mindset shift was literally like the turn on the dial that cranked it up, that attracted the right people, that gave me the consistent energy that I needed to show up. And so then all of a sudden things started to happen. And I remember Amber saying, like, you're going to hit director. And we were in Miami and I was at like 18%, I think. I still didn't know what it meant. I was like 18, I was almost to 22. And I was like, I think something's happening, but I don't really know. And she's like, oh no, you're pacing. You're going to hit director this month. And I was like, I don't know. She's like, we're celebrating already because it's going to happen. I remember going home with the gift she had given me and setting it on my dresser. My husband's like, should we look at it? Should we? I'm like, no, I'm not opening that box until I actually do it. Cause what if I don't hit it? She's going to be so disappointed. And it happened. Things happened very quickly. And, yeah, all of a sudden I was like, I think I hit director, and all of a sudden I think I have one more month and I'm going to go to Turkey. And what? And then I went to Turkey. And it was the most amazing trip I've ever been on in my life. Even though I came home with COVID, it was worth it. It was so worth it. It will change your business. You have to go. You have to go. It will not only change your business, it will change your um, understanding that this is a great big frickin' world. And you have far corners of the world that you can go and explore and can reach. This market is not saturated. These products are absolutely beautifully packaged. The factory, when you walk through, you're like, how am I selling a mascara for $13 in a building that's made in a building that looks like this? That like rattled my brains. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that this space was that beautiful and the people were so kind and the culture was amazing, but it changed my perspective and understanding of how much care and concern and ingenuity the company puts into the products. And when you see it firsthand, you can't help but tell people that it's better than anything else you've ever tried. It changes the game.
I can't wait to go to Turkey. I'm so excited. Like you just like fired me up. Like I still look at some of your photos. Like
Mhm.
the one that you have with the balloons, like the most beautiful photo ever. The one with your
Yep.
coffee, like I'm just ready. I'm
I
excited.
use all the time.
So you are Superwoman. Everyone, when they see you, they just see success, they see confidence, they see all of that. But what's something that you struggle with behind the scenes that somebody might not know just by looking at you?
Um, I feel like sometimes when you are multi-passionate and ambitious, it's really hard. This is silly. This might be silly, but it's bothersome to me. Okay. And I bet Amber can vouch for this too. I find it almost impossible to ignore somebody's potential. Like painfully challenging to ignore somebody's potential to the point where then I have a hard time quitting them. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, if someone says no, no means no. Like, yes, sometimes no means not right now. But like, sometimes when you can just see in your vision, excuse me, you can see in your vision, like, someone would be like an amazing teammate. Sometimes for me, that becomes almost a series of like a hyper focus. And because I'm so focused on this person that has no interest in running a business or has no interest in joining me, that I lose sight of the fact that there are other people and other opportunities to grow and to help that may be even more impactful around me. So, and it's the same way with leadership when you see someone starting to move away from your business or you see people quitting in network marketing. We become such a tight-knit community that it can sometimes crush you when someone leaves. And for me, that can rattle me. I'm not going to lie. That can rattle me when I've had leaders leave, when I've had I'm like, what was it me? What was it? What happened? Like, do I need to get to the bottom of this? Do I need to like go all Sherlock Holmes on this? Like, why do I need answers? But truthfully, you don't. And so I have to continually remind myself that this is a job. People leave jobs all the time, literally all the time, for a whole gamut of reasons. And some people stay in jobs that don't pay well because they like it there. Good for them, right? Like, cool, good for you. I want you to be happy wherever you are. And I have to remind myself of that because otherwise it will rattle my business. I will be so worried about how I can attract them to come back or how I can inspire them that I'm not going to give my best to my own business. I'm not going to give my best to the people who are dialed in and ready to run.
I love that. I love that. And it kind of goes right into our next question. Sometimes business is up, down, sideways. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes we can kind of feel like, man, am I doing everything right? You've been in business for a decade, pretty much, and you've seen it all. So, what do you do to stay grounded or motivated during the slower seasons or just when you're having a hard time? Because I mean, that's life. If we're a business owner, we are gonna experience that sometime.
100%. Um, I think, I mean, I'll even speaking super candidly and honestly, like my business grew really quick when I first came to pharmacy because I didn't start from scratch. I started from experience. So I had connections. I had people that already trusted me. I had people that already followed me. So I had quick speed to get to where I'm at. And then after that, I don't have a bajillion followers. I am a true network marketer. I'm not an influencer with hundreds of thousands. I don't even have 10,000. I don't even have 5,000 followers on any of my platforms, right? Maybe combined, but that's it. Okay. Um, and I'm okay with that. But that does lead to seasons. And so a really real life example is we just came down from the earning period for Mexico. I had some really great months, like paycheck wise, but I did not earn the trip. And that's okay. That is okay. Um, and that probably would have used to rattle me as well. But one thing that you have to keep in mind, Amber said it in the question, like you have seasons in your business. Right now, I am in a season of planting. I know that. I have, and that very quick, very, very quick. My energy was so high at the start that in the first year of my business, you guys, I was enrolling a ton of people. I was having new customers all the time. But this trip earning required new recruits and three of them and qualified and all and there were though that was challenging. That was challenging for a lot of people. And so I don't want anybody that's, if you just came in or you came in at the beginning and it didn't happen for you, I want you to know like there's a lot of us. It's an incentive trip for a reason. It's a bonus trip for a reason. It's if it was easy, it wouldn't mean anything. Okay. But in this past season, you have to realize sometimes you're planting seeds. Sometimes you're tending the plants. And then sometimes you can actually start, collecting some harvest. You can start harvesting. But I knew that I was in a seed planting season. I did what I could, I did how I could, and I focused on the purpose of that season. And you want to know what? 6 months from now, I'm going to be harvesting. And I'm not worried about it. 6 months from now, I'm going to be harvesting, and uh, that's just the name of the game. And I'll go on the trips that I get to go on. But the biggest thing is that in this business, you have to a slow month doesn't necessarily equate to like a bad month. If your sales are slow and you don't have as many messages going out regarding helping people with orders, that gives you more time to plant seeds for maybe recruitment or for spending more time on coaching calls with those who are asking for that mentorship from you. Sometimes those moments, those valleys, they're there for a moment for you to catch your breath, to get caught up, to catch up on a skill that you maybe left in the dust in another time frame.
I love that you mentioned the trip and that this time you didn't earn it this time, you guys, because I know we have how much do we have on right now live? 65 live right now, but I know this will be watched by hundreds and hundreds of people who also are in the same boat. And seeing somebody at your caliber and your leadership level, I mean, I think that's really good for people to hear because you guys, our list was this big. We have incredible leaders on this team. So many of them. The list was literally like 7 people long, like very, very small. So I love that you mentioned that because that does not define your success.
No.
Okay. We aren't in this for trips. We're in this for lots of different reasons. Some of you guys might be in it for trips, but I know I'm in it to build something for my family. Mexico is just an added bonus. Like that's great, but that's not why I'm here.
Mhm.
So I love that you mentioned that. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and mentioning that. It takes a leader to do that too. So I just I'm obsessed with you. But anyways, somebody
Mutual.
somebody who empowers as many people as you and inspires as many people as you. There's going to be a lot of women looking at you and being like, I want to do what she does, but they doubt themselves every single time. And they're like, I just don't know if I can. I don't have her personality. I'm not as smart as her. I'm not as pretty and cute as her. Whatever it might be. Like, what's advice you have for that woman?
If- Before before anyone's going to fall in love with you, you have to fall in love with your life. So romanticize it. I said that earlier, but you don't realize how relatable your everyday life is and how that's going to connect you with the right people. If people follow me, you know that I share the good, the bad, the crazy, the messy, I share it all. And I don't share it from a place of feeling like sad and down in the dumps. I share it from a place of relatability. I share it from a space where if if someone sees me living through this and being able to laugh at the shit show, they're going to be okay with theirs. Like they're going to stay another day. They're going to give it another rip. Like that's really what I would suggest. Like if you are just getting started and you're like, I don't know how to do what she does. First of all, don't do what I do. Because if you do exactly what I do, you would be a second rate me when you'd be missing out on the opportunity to be a first rate you. You need to just take a second and figure out like my right now. How do I tell this story from a hero's perspective? I don't want to hear about like, for a lack of just better way of describing it. I don't want to hear about like the blood and the guts and the gore. I want to hear the scar story. Like have you ever met someone that has like a really crazy cool scar and you're like, you I need to know. Like how did that happen? What's the story? And they tell you the story from start to healed. And so when you're sharing about your personal story, even if you're kind of in the middle of it right now, start thinking like, how could I share this as a scar story? And if I shared this as a scar story, how would it end? Because truthfully, like no one's coming to save you but you. So you'd be the hero in the story. And when you start telling your story with you as the hero from a healed version, you're going to start to just respond to life differently and people are going to respond to you differently. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more capable. You're going to feel like you can actually handle the shitstorm that's coming at you. And if you haven't hung out with me before, my favorite word in the whole wide world is moxie. I learned it a long time ago and I carry it with me everywhere I go. But it is this force of character, fierce determination that all of us are born with, but a lot of us forget about. And if you can lean into that moxie that's deep inside of you that was there, it's that feisty little girl, right? Who's going to come for it. Like if she needs to, she's going to bring the action. And if you can dial into that and you can tell your story and you can romanticize what's going on in your life right now, things will change for you. Things will change for you. A little bit of storytelling, a little bit of good lighting, the rest is
You're,
history.
you got it then.
Yeah.
I love that. So looking ahead, I would love to hear what is your vision? Like, do you have any big goals or anything that you have for yourself that you want to complete within the next 12 months?
Yeah. Next 12 months, I want to build two more leaders. I want to mentor two more leaders. I want to find two more gals who are ready to step in to their next level. That's my next goal. I'd love to hit platinum.
Mhm.
That's always been the end game goal, but again, still in that seed planting, still in that tending, and I am very realistic in, and I think this is important for anybody watching. You have to really look at your progress right now and compare it to number of followers, compare it to number of customers, compare it to like network size just in general. Like how many people are you talking to in your normal day? And when you look at your milestones and your goals from that angle, chances are you're going to realize like you're doing a hell of a lot better than you thought you were. Right? I often have to remind myself and I remind other people, if you just had five people show up, while you're walking down the street tomorrow, five people said, "Hey, I really like your makeup today. Hey, I really like your makeup today." Five people. You wouldn't know what to do with yourself. You would probably be weirded out. But for some reason, we get only 5 likes on something and we make a meme out of it and we turn it into a TikTok sound because it's embarrassing to only have 5 likes. But like literally, if 5 people gave me a compliment as I'm walking down the street, I would be shocked. And if you don't have any connections really, you have low followers and low all that, and you only have two, same thing. If 2 people came up to you and said, "Hey, that was a really funny story. That was a really funny story," and you're like, "Oh, apparently I can story tell." Two people told
Mhm.
me, 2 people complimented me. So for me, I'm looking at my goal of hitting platinum compared to my follower count, compared to my engagement level. And that is a reach goal. And I'm okay with that. So I'm working on building my network. So I'm working on building true connections. And I am solution seeking. My network growth on Facebook was diminishing. I have a really engaged community on there, so I'm still nourishing that. I'm still hanging out. I still post on there all the time, but my network is growing on TikTok. So my goal, right? If I want to find new leaders, if I want to fix my, get my numbers, fix them up to where they need to be to hit platinum, I have to create a bigger network. So I'm going where that's happening. And that's really where my goals are headed right now.
Love, love that. Okay, here's everyone's favorite part. This is their favorite part of these interviews, and that is our fire round. Okay, so we're gonna go fast. Just the first
Okay,
thing that comes to your mind. Coffee or cocktails?
coffee.
Dream travel destination.
Aruba.
Oh, Aruba, yes. Go to hype song
Um, right now,
right now.
it depends on the mood. Are we like feisty or are
We're
we
feisty. We're always feisty.
well, right now, if I'm really feeling like I gotta be sassy, Blue Strips by Jesse Murph, it brings out an animal in me. I don't know what it is.
So noted. Next event, we play that when Carly goes on stage because I want to see this animal. Erica says, I'm playing it. Signature makeup product you can't live without.
The VFX foundation.
Oh, it's a good one. One word your team would use to describe you. I already know this.
Moxie.
Moxie. Biggest ick in the industry.
Limiting beliefs. That's
Yes.
big energy for sure.
Favorite way to unplug and reset.
Reading.
Who inspires you the most right now?
I would still say my grandma.
Love that. What's your ick in general, personal or professional? Spill it all.
Negative people.
Oh,
I just
yes.
can't with them.
Yes, same. What's your,
Or people that don't like hugs. I will always be friends with you, but I just don't understand it. So
yeah, they feel so nice.
I know you get great hugs. Hugs from
So do
others,
you.
they hit different.
Boldest goal for 2025, which I think you just told us, but
Yeah. Platinum.
platinum. All right, Carly. Well, I love you. You know that. And everyone is so excited that you're on here. I see a lot of people who are like, wow, she is fire, fire, so motivated. Thank you so much. And you guys, Carly doesn't, she has boundaries. She has boundaries and she usually, this is her family time. So I just want to say a big thank you for fitting us into your family time. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, you guys. I think that I should have brought that up earlier, but I think it is important for sure for you to realize that you have permission to create the business of your dreams.
Hmm.
And so create your day in a way that makes sense for you and allows you to show up for your priorities appropriately. So yeah, Amber's right. Like I feel bad because sometimes we're like, oh, I don't see you on team calls. And I'm like, yeah, at night I read to my kids every single night until
And
they
I
kick
love
me
that.
out of
Keep
their
doing
room.
that.
Yep, until they kick
Yes.
me out of their rooms, that is where I will be. Like I'm just not like the so yeah, make your life, make it the life of your dreams. Otherwise, you're just working.
Cindy wants to know, where is the Skeleton Key Marina?
It's in Hudson, Florida.
Cindy's in Florida, so she might want to
Yeah,
come visit.
yeah. Do it. We're right by Newport Richie.
And then how can they find you on social media?
Carly R. Gates on
Awesome, you guys. Yes, make sure to tag in this video. I know I've seen a lot of you guys recording. It just shows a, team aspect. So everyone smile. Thank
Thanks,
you so
guys.
much, Carly. Next week, you guys, we have Erica Lopez. I'm very
Yeah.
excited. Everybody have a great night. I love you all. Thank you so much again, Carly.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Bye, everybody.